It is 1920 and Congress has just passed the 18th Amendment, prohibiting the sale and trading of any liquor above 0.5%. And I, like the rest of you lads and gals, are all wondering how this came to happen. What kind of Miss Gundry thought that by getting rid of our giggle water, that would bring happiness to this country? Well, this concern of alcohol and its effects on the fine people of the United States isn't a recent problem, but can first be seen back in the 1820s, when a Harvard professor, George Ticknor, told our founding father, Thomas Jefferson, that if the national liquor consumption continued as it did, then we would end up as a nation of sots, an ossified, or a drunk for those who don't know their onions. This sentiment would continue to grow until the 1830s. Some people finally decided to act and do something about the liquor in the country, with the evangelist John Bartholomew Gough leading them. They started by spreading the word of the evil of alcohol and that people should start limiting their consumption, but that wasn't doing enough, so they demanded the prohibiting of all alcohol itself. It wouldn't stop with them. In 1873, they would spread the temperance belief with the women of the United States. Though the women didn't drink the devil's water, they had to deal with their husbands who did. Seeing their men waste their income on alcohol instead of supporting their family, and coming home drunk and easily angered, led many women to support the temperance movement. These women would go to their local saloons and pray at the entrance that the men would repent, and the saloons would close. It had little non-permanent effect, leading women to change their tactics. One of these warped women would be Carrie Amelia Nation, who would go to saloons after hours with her famous hatchet and break liquor caskets and fountains. This would spread awareness of the views people were having with alcohol, and this temperance view would continue to grow. Until in 1917, with the United States taking part in World War I, the U.S. government started placing rations on common goods in the U.S., including putting a prohibition on any alcohol that was above 2.75%. When World War I ended, Congress had a bipartisan agreement that they wanted to keep the prohibition of alcohol going, so they passed the 18th Amendment, outlawing the selling and trading of any liquor, and changed the percentage from 2.75 to anything above 0.5%. Well, what happened afterwards, you may ask? What happened after? Well, this amendment wouldn't stop the U.S. populace from obtaining their favorite giggle water. If people could get their hands on a bottle legally, then they would find another way. People would start producing liquor in hidden distilleries in the countryside, calling it moonshine, and then would hand them over to rum runners, individuals with fast cars and with the knowledge of the roads to avoid the police. Though this didn't prevent the police of catching word of their plots, and many would be arrested, but many more would get out scot-free. For those who got away, they would take their illegal booze to hidden joints where anyone with a center to blow or is just looking for a whoopee can get a drink. These places were called speakeasies. This booze business wouldn't stop with just the rural moonshiners, but would be picked up by the various urban mafia. The inclusion of the mafia would increase crime rates and criminal death in the cities, with 215 criminals dying to rival gangs between 1923 and 1926, and with another 160 being killed by the police. With the reason for Congress passing the 18th Amendment being to end the crimes and other civil issues caused by alcohol, by 1926, the 18th only succeeded in creating new crimes and increasing the violence among the citizens. But wait, there is more. In another 3 years, the Great Depression would arrive in 1929, causing national economic crisis for both the citizens and the various industries. Seeing that the 18th Amendment was a failure and that the federal government could use the booze industry as a source of federal funding, by taxing the illegal alcoholic industry, they decided to repeal the prohibition with the passing of the 21st Amendment. So, the temperance goal of ending the pains caused by alcohol and spreading a nationwide happiness by its prohibition was a failure. One moment everyone was for it, and the next they were all against it. Just seems no one can decide what will make them happy.